This is an advice I wish I got many years ago when I started selling on eBay. You see, eBay, as it were, is a long game, and the earlier you realize that, the better for you. When I discovered eBay many years ago, I really thought that it was a way to make quick money. I really did do that. We're always excited each time we sold something, and this is kind of normal because, hey, come think of it, you want to make money, and the fastest way you can make money that you can think of, the better. And eBay for me was a good way to make money. I was always excited whenever my item sold, and I always wanted to go back to the market and get some stuff to list back on the platform, until many years later I realized that, look, if I had known what I know today, I would have taken a step back to really look at eBay as a strategy game. You see, it's good to make quick money. It's good to be excited about going to the thrift store to buy some stuff to resell on eBay. But the thing is, the moment you begin to see eBay as a business, perhaps you have registered a business name for yourself and you begin to see yourself as a business, then you really find this advice to be very, very practical. Because the thing is, as soon as you set out to do a business, all the elements of a business must come into play. You have to develop a very good strategy before you go out to source for items. Make sure you do your prior research, because you need to see what other people are selling on the platform. It's not about just going out with the excitement to buy stuff. It's good, like I said, but then if this is a business you want to do on a long run, you want to begin to look at what people are selling. You want to begin to do a little bit of search. eBay has made this pretty much easy for us, because you can actually go to the system using Therapy to see exactly what items are trending, and this is exactly the kind of items you want to buy. It doesn't matter if you have 100 pieces of a particular item. If it's not selling, it's not selling. No matter what you do about it, if the market is not there, there's pretty much nobody that wants that item. You're just going to end up buying a bunch of stuff that you are not able to sell. And this was exactly what happened to me when I just started selling on eBay. Each time I saw items in large quantities, I always want to go ahead and buy them, because I felt like, okay, now I have 100 pieces of a particular item. I could immediately list these 100 pieces and then end up selling them. The reality is, you buy them. If nobody wants them, nobody's going to buy them from you. So strategy, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you do your proper search. Make sure you are updating yourself all the time about the kind of items that people are looking for, people are looking to buy, and this will help you a lot. It will save you a lot of troubles. It will make you avoid the dreaded dead piles, because if you go ahead and buy stuff that nobody wants, you're going to end up bringing it into your warehouse or your storage space or even your house, and you realize that nobody's going to buy that item from you. And what happens is that you're just going to drag it to a corner and you're going to continue to sit there for months, and until one day you are ultimately going to take the items and go and throw them away. And this is not what you want for yourselves. When I started selling on eBay, I threw away a lot of stuff, because these were items that nobody wanted. These were items ranging from kitchen utensils, from electronics items, from some bit of clothing, some toys that nobody wanted them. It took me a lot of effort to buy them in the first place, and secondly, it took me a lot of effort to list these items, and it took me a lot of effort to continue to move them all around. At the time, it was my room, and you know what that means when you have an item just occupying a space in your room that nobody wants. Sometimes it gets annoying, and ultimately you decide, you know what, I'm going to throw this item away, and in the end, you have lost money, you have lost time, and this is not what you want for yourself. Another thing I wished I knew when I started selling on eBay is, when you go out to buy stuff, don't be carried away with the excitement of just buying stuff, because you buying items, these are expenses, and if you are a registered business, these are business expenses, and the earlier you can begin to keep your evidence of purchase, which is your receipt, the better for you. When I started buying stuff on eBay a long time ago, it didn't really occur to me that yes, this was going to be an issue, because then when you go to the thrift store with the excitement of finding so many items, you just tend to buy a lot of stuff. You don't bother to ask for a little kind of receipt of purchase, and then you would have spent a lot of money. These are business expenses that you cannot really explain, because at the end of the day, you're going to be doing your tax declaration, and the more purchases you have an evidence for, the better for you. Otherwise, you're going to be calling figures from thin air, which is not what you want to be dealing with. And in the event of a tax check, it's not really a pleasant situation you want to be. If I were to start all over again, one thing I would definitely do is to make sure I track my expenses. Sometimes we drive to the thrift stores. Sometimes we buy supplies like printing papers. We buy printing inks. These are things that you want to keep the invoice for. It's very easy to keep the receipts of this item, but you go to a thrift store where a garage sale, nobody's expecting for you to ask for a receipt and then you start start asking, hey, could you give me an evidence of purchase? But on your own side, as a check, get a little book where you can track these things. You buy something, write it down. If you are able to ask the seller for a little evidence, some sellers are aware of this, and sometimes when you buy from them, they can easily issue you a receipt. Always make sure you track your expenses. Otherwise, at the end of the year, or depending when it's tax season, then you begin to imagine, hey, what have I spent? What have I bought? And sometimes, if you are not careful, it just makes things a little bit clumsy. So try to avoid this as much as you can while starting out. It's a new year. There's a lot of buzz about eBay, and it's very easy to get carried away looking at the successes. Also look at the business side. Set up your business correctly right from the start. This is the best thing that you can do. Make your strategy right. Track your business expenses, and in this way, you're going to be saving yourself from a lot of stress that might come along as you start selling on eBay. Another thing I wished I knew when I started selling on eBay was that it's okay to get help. You see, there are so many things you can go ahead to figure out on your own, watching a lot of YouTube videos, watching a lot of reading a lot of blog posts about eBay. But the thing is, it's okay to actually reach out to somebody that you admire. Perhaps it might be on YouTube, it might be on some of the forums on Facebook, and reach out and say, hey, look, I'm starting an eBay shop. Please, I need help with this and this and that. You see, sometimes don't shy away from this. I know it's very difficult to get sometimes direct help from resellers, but the thing is, you have to give it a try. There are so many things you can figure out on your own, but sometimes some good advice from someone out there can just save you a lot of troubles, can save you a lot of headache, it can save you a lot of stress. So don't think that this is a game that you play in isolation. There are a lot of resources out there. That is not in doubt. But sometimes you still have to physically reach out to people when you see that this person, perhaps you've been seeing the person on YouTube for so long and you kind of feel that this person is playing the right game. Go ahead and send the person a DM. Hey, look, this person, I sell on eBay. I'm selling for like 3-4 months now. I'm just reaching out to see if you have a tip or two for me that could actually help me in my reselling journey. Then you'll be amazed how someone's advice can actually set you up on the right path. You see, selling on eBay, truth be said, is kind of lonely. Most times you're going to be on your own. You're going to be either in your warehouse, shipping items, listing items. Sometimes it could be a little bit lonely. And if you have imagined that you'll be doing this for a very long time, the earlier you begin to see how you can network with people, the better. Otherwise, you're going to be working all alone. You're not talking to anybody. You are not sharing your notes. You are not comparing notes to anybody. And then over time, you just realize that you are kind of just on your own. You are not checking with somebody else to see what's working, because at the end of the day, I really do not think that is the best thing, even mentally, to just be completely alone. So try to reach out to people, see how you can join forums. If you have some good tips, share it freely. There are a lot of beautiful groups on Reddit, on Facebook. Join these groups and share your ideas, share what you know, be part of the conversation. The reselling community is getting really big, and 2024 is not going to be an exception. It's only going to get bigger because a lot is going on. And if you want to really succeed, learn to network with people. Don't be shy to ask for help. If you see what I do and you feel like you want to sell computers, you want to sell electronics, feel free to write me, drop me a comment. Hardwareflipper, this is what I do, this is what I want to do. Do you have some tips for me? And as much as I can, I'll definitely try to get back to you. These are some of the few things I can easily think of right now, because this video is not scripted. As soon as I can think of more things that I wish would have been beneficial to my younger self when I started selling on eBay, I'm definitely going to come around and update this list. But then until I see you again, peace out.